I'm Gemma.
I'm Emma.
And this is Readiculous.
Hi, Internet. We're here to tell you about the things we plan to read in March, which is wild because I feel like we just told you about the things we plan to read in February. So I guess I'll start by saying that my TBR list this month is shorter than last month because I've learned my lesson, kind of. I did read a lot of books last month. They just weren't all from my TBR list, and I still have to read some of those. So kind of shrinking things down this month.
In March, I'm going to read the follow-up to Scythe, which I read in February, which is Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. Really like Scythe, so I'm really pumped to read this. And the Thunderhead is like a really interesting concept that you kind of hear about in Scythe. But since this is called Thunderhead, I'm assuming you're gonna get like a lot more in that, and that's gonna be really cool, I think. So
imagine if you didn't. It's called Thunderhead and it's just a joke. In March, I'm going to read Meet Cute, which, in the spirit of full disclosure, I've already started. So I know I can finish reading it in March. So far, I like it. It's a short story anthology. I noticed some people on Goodreads are doing their reviews and giving different star rankings to each of the short stories, which I don't think I'm gonna do. I'm only 3 or 4 stories in right now, but I just can't see myself giving an individual rating to every single one. So I'm just gonna try and finish this in March and see how it goes, but I really like it so far.
So the next book is Boy Meets Depression by Kevin Brill. It's like a biography or autobiography, I guess, like.
So like nonfiction?
Yeah, it's nonfiction, like lived experience, like own voices, sort of like his, obviously Boy Meets Depression, so his struggle with mental health. I really like the dedication, which is to the reader, may my story meet you somewhere in the middle of yours. And I really like that because like the reason I read sort of these books is so I can get like perspective on my own struggles and like feeling like you're not the only one who's struggling with whatever. And so like that dedication is like really speaks to the reason why I even read books like this.
The second book I plan to read in March is Love, Life, and the List, which I've been seeing around everywhere. And at first I actually didn't plan on reading it, at least not right away. I was like, oh, I'll read it when I get to it. But the more I've looked into it, the more I want to read it like right now. So I'm gonna read that in March. And also it's due at the library, so I have to read it in March.
I am also going to read 13 Ways of Looking at a Fat Girl by Mona Awad.
I just use the mirror, but that's one way that I do it. Sorry, just trying to make this all about me.
As per usual. Yeah, I didn't realize that this was like set in Canada. Mississauga.
Represent.
Not from Mississauga.
No.
I've been there like once, but whatever.
The third book I'm going to read in March is The Queen's Rising. I've heard not much about the story itself, but I've heard a lot of people saying they want to read it, and I thought I'd just hop on that bandwagon. I have zero idea what it's about. As far as I know, it's some sort of, not sci-fi, fantasy. It's like a fantasy type book. I don't normally read fantasy, so I thought I'd just give this one a shot without really looking into what it's about. I think sometimes I enjoy books more when I don't know what they're about, and I've just heard that they're recommended, because then I don't really go in with expectations other than people said they liked this. So I'm not like, oh, this story sounds like it's gonna be so interesting, and then opening the book and being like, what a boring book.
The last book I have for my TBR is Autobiography by Christina Lauren. I don't really know that much about it.
I heard it's really good.
I heard it's good. I heard it's
a book.
Like LGBT romance. And the cover is like so beautiful.
Yeah, I really like that cover.
Like the gradient and like the space aspect.
Oh, and the little houses. I love little houses.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And like, to be honest, if I never knew anything else about it, I would get this off of the shelf and read it. So that's what I'm doing.
Perfect. If you want to keep up with us, because we're very important people, we're constantly moving and shaking, you can follow both of us on Goodreads. That will be linked in the description below, along with our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at ReadiculousYT. And of course, as always, we tell you this every single time. So if you're watching every video and you haven't subscribed yet, click down here and subscribe and ring the bell so you get notifications when we post new videos, which is on Saturday mornings. Usually. Saturdays for sure, probably. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
My little pony, my little